Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's the Artsy Amateur. We are continuing on with my solar system series, and we have come to the first planet of our solar system, and that is Mercury. So today we're going to be doing a Mercury-inspired acrylic pour. We're going to have some fun facts along the way so you can learn as you watch, and I'm so excited to start the planetary series. Last time we did Surface of the Sun, which is behind me here. It was a swipe technique that we used with a dirty pour. Before that was our galaxy pour with a funnel inspired by the Milky Way galaxy. So I'm so excited to start with the planets and let them inspire us and guide us. I am working on a 12 by 12 inch gallery wrapped level 3 canvas from Artist Loft. I finally wisened up and actually painted my sides and edges. I do have my back taped and pinned, but last time with the sun inspired painting, I struggled a little bit having it go over the edges, so I just wanted to be safe rather than sorry and paint the sides and edges first. But today's technique, we're going to be doing a flip cup with Australian Floetrol. So we're going to be looking for some beautiful cells to be made, and I am going to do a few micro swipes. So to start things off, here is a picture of what Mercury looks like. You can see it's predominantly this drab gray color, but it does have some interesting lines and spots. So I'm thinking our flip cup is going to create a lot of that, and we're also going to do a few mini swipe techniques to add some of those interesting details. Walking through our colors, so today I'm using all Amsterdam paints. Here we have the OG titanium white. Next, we have this beautiful silver color. I'm so excited. I've not used this yet, but I wanted to add a little bit of shimmer, almost like the sun was shining on the planet. So that's what we have here. We have silver, and then we have oxide black. So I'm not going to use a ton of this. Black can be super overpowering, so I'm going to try and pace myself and not use a lot of it, but we'll see. And now all of these are mixed with paint, but then also Australian Floetrol and the Curate pouring medium. For our swipe color, I just have Amsterdam titanium white in here with a lot of Floetrol, Australian Floetrol, to make it very runny consistency. So, first fun fact about Mercury, it is our smallest planet. Okay, it's the closest one to the sun, but it's very interesting to note that it is not the hottest planet. That one's coming next, if you can guess what that is. But it does have a huge temperature swing throughout the day because it has no atmosphere. The sun basically burned off the atmosphere. There's no way an atmosphere could live there, but it gets to 800 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and drops to negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit at night. So talk about needing layers throughout the day, am I right? And it gets so cold, and especially at its poles, it actually has ice on it. I would have never thought that because it's so close to the sun. I thought there's no way there'd be ice on Mercury, but it's true, it has ice. All right, let's get to layering. So I'm gonna start with the white because when you do a flip cup, you have to think that the bottom of your cup is actually going to be the top of your painting. So I am going to start with a little bit of our white color here. And then come in with the silver. And all of my consistencies are a medium to medium thin consistency. So, all right, add just a little bit of black. I really got to watch the black. I always add too much and then it looks cool and it's dark, but if you saw, yeah, Mercury, it's not super dark. So, all right, then I'll come back in with some white. Okay. And silver. All right, a little bit of black. And then maybe just end with a little bit of silver here. All right, that looks yummy. So I'm gonna flip this over. We'll give it time to marinate, then we'll pop some bubbles, and then we'll start doing some swipes through it. All right, you guys ready? The trick to doing a flip cup is to be really fast and confident about it, even if you're nervous. Okay, ready, set, go. See? When I first started out, it was pretty funny because I would be nervous and do it slow, and then you can imagine the mess it made. So I got very quick at learning that speed and confidence is key with a flip cup. So, all right, we'll let that one marinate. And I did make a little bit of extra paint, so we had a flow extender. That way we can let the paint flow easily over the edges. Something to note today, I'm not using my cake spinner. I'm just gonna actually stretch it over the edges like normal. And that's because I want to be able to control how the lines after we swipe are gonna move. If I accomplish that or not, we'll see, but. While we're waiting, another fun fact, I already mentioned that the planet Mercury is small. It's really small. It's actually only a little bit bigger than our moon for Earth. So when you look up at the night sky and you see the moon, basically, I mean, they actually look very similar too. It's pretty much what Mercury looks like. And it has craters and a very gray color. So, all right, I think we're ready to pull this up. Ready? I'm gonna kind of go this way. All right, I'm gonna put this down on the edge because again, I do make paint skin jewelry and I like to have the interesting colors over there. Oh, wow. This is neat because I can see some of the transparency in here. Just gonna stretch it out a tiny bit. All right, those cells, it looks like some craters forming. I'm so excited about that. All right, I'm gonna let that set up and I am going to get my torch out here and pop some air bubbles while we're waiting. And one thing that a torch also does is it can increase the amount of cells you get. So. And I already see them coming to light. This is really cool. And it's kind of neat how this over here is darker and this appears lighter, almost like the sun is shining on it. Kind of neat. All right, and because of that, I'm actually gonna turn it this way. So I'm gonna treat this more as like the top and then this as the sides. So let's add a few interesting things with a swipe. And I could definitely regret this. I have no idea, but I did want to add it just because it does have distinct lines in it. So we're going to add it. It's fun to experiment. Be bold. It's just paint. We can do it again if we don't like it. Okay. I'm going to turn it just a little bit so I can swipe it easily through the center. So I'm going to go from here down to here. And I'm actually going to do it a little bit backwards. I'm going to do it by pulling it vertically. So you'll see what I mean here in a minute. All right, that looks pretty cool. That didn't turn out so bad. All right, let's do it a few more times. I'm just gonna do it kind of almost like how a planet would be shaped here. Ooh, those are beautiful. Those are beautiful cells. I actually got cells on that one. Interestingly enough, I didn't get a ton of cells on the first one, but that's all right. All right. Interesting. And not a ton on that one either. So you just never know. You never know. All right. I am going to take some and drip it from up high. So again, Mercury, you can see like where there's like big light craters and a bunch of dark ones. So I figured I'd make my own craters here. Just by dripping some of this paint in. And when we stretch it, I think it's going to look really cool. All right. Right. Move it a little bit. My table's still unlevel. I got to do something about this. Okay. Before we start stretching, wanted to just add another really fun fact about Mercury. So it has very long days, but short years. This means that the rate that it rotates is very slow, but the rate that it revolves around the sun is very quick. Makes sense because it's the closest. It actually got its name from revolving very fast around the sun. So the ancient Romans saw it moving very quickly across the night sky, and they named it after the Roman god Messenger, who was very fast. So hence the name Mercury. But yes, its days are super long. One day for Mercury is 176 days on Earth. That's how slowly it rotates. So it makes sense that it has ice because if it's in the dark for a lot longer, it has the chance to build that up at negative 290 degrees Fahrenheit. But the year is very short. It's only 88 Earth days. So, all right, let's get to stretching this. So I'm going to add a little bit more flow extender around the edge here because it's getting a little dry. All right, let's get to stretching. So I'm going to come off of this bottom corner down here because it's a little bit bland. So bring the paint down there, bring it back. Okay, and while we're on this side, we'll just do this top portion over here. Okay. Bring it back. And I love the transparency through this. This is really cool. All right, while we're up at the top here, we'll go across and go this way. All right. Now we'll go down and off the bottom edge here. All right, just gonna bring it back a little bit. Okay, let's see what we like, what we don't like. Because we have a little bit of extra paint that we can take off. So I might take down this corner a little bit more and stretch it off the edge here. Bring it back. All right. Okay. All right. I'm loving this. Oh, this is so pretty. And you know what's really cool? It's going to dry a little bit darker. And I already see a lot of transparency and depth. And I'm really excited to see the shimmer of the silver. So let me touch up my sides. I think they're actually pretty good, but one side does need a little bit of love. But I'll then grab the camera and bring you down for a close-up of the wet reveal. All right, close up of the wet reveal. I love all of these crater-like parts. So the transparency is really cool. I'm excited to see how it dries. And I don't know if this camera is really capturing the transparency, but I think the silver really helped with that. So you can see like little bits of black peeking through the silver, but I'm very excited to see how it dries. We got our swipes here that we did through the center just to add some of those lines, those vertical lines like Mercury has. So, and that silver should shimmer. So, all right, that's where I'll see you guys at the dried results. And the dried results are in. Look at this dimension. I knew this was going to dry really cool, but look at the lacing through there. I think the cells really look like craters. I definitely think this looks a lot like Mercury. So I'm really happy how it came out. Got some of those distinguishing lines running through it. Yeah, a lot of dimension with just those three colors. Let's see if we can get some silvery shine. It's kind of hard to capture on camera, but that's really what you see a lot, like in this lacing around this, I'm going to call it a crater, around this crater. You can see the silver shining there and definitely down here too. So the silver did a really good job of adding dimension, some shine, some lacing. So I'm really happy. I love this one. Let me know what you guys think. Well, thank you guys so much for painting again with me today. Please give me a like on this video if you enjoyed the process. Subscribe to my channel. Next up, one of my very favorite planets is Venus, and there's a lot of really fun facts about Venus that we're gonna go through. So please do me a favor and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of my upcoming videos, and share with your friends if they would think this is interesting as well. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.